Hey guys, how's it going? So today I'm finally back with part 2 of my display setup video. Now I think I posted part 1 about 6 or 7 months ago now, so apologies that it's taken me forever to finally get around to doing this follow-up video for you guys. But if you haven't seen part 1 yet, I will be putting a link in the description below so you guys can check that out. So in that video we talked about the display shelves that I use for my collection, as well as all the little mods that I made to them. And today we are going to be looking at the lighting that I use for my collection. So with that said, we'll jump straight into it and we'll start with the lights that I use. Basically, ever since I started collecting, I've been using the same lights, which are these 50 centimeters under cabinet LED lights that I picked up from eBay. Now, I'm not too sure if they're still available because I know at one point they stopped selling them for some reason. But if they are, I'll put a link in the description below as well so you guys can go and have a look at them. So these are great. I haven't had any issues with them. They're really easy to set up and relatively inexpensive as well. Now, when you buy these, they will come as a set of 4. So you'll get four of these lights as well as a junction box. So each of these lights have their own wires, and as you can see, they're quite long, so that makes it easy to connect them up, especially if you've got larger display shelves. And each of those 4 lights basically connects into a junction box similar to this one. Now, this one is actually a 12-way junction box that I picked up separately, but the ones that will come with the lights when you buy them is only a 4-way. Which is obviously enough to power up the full set. And then this just plugs into an AC adapter, so your typical 12 volt, and that's basically it. Now, you can use something like this if you want to power up more lights just with the one AC adapter. Just be mindful though that if you do that, the lights do tend to be a little bit dimmer because obviously you're sharing power across more lights. So that's just something to be mindful of. Now, I tend to just stick with the 4-way and then just have each set powered by, an AC adapter. So that's basically the lights. Now, they do come in 2 options as well. So you can either go for a cool white or a warm white. Now, personally, I prefer the cool white for my collection. But if you like the warmer tone, which I know some people do, then you do have that option as well. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is how I have them set up on the actual shelves. So as you can see, I basically use 2 lights per shelf, 1 on each side going from the front and running along the side to the back. Now, these lights fit perfectly on the shelves that I have, which are the broad shelves. Because as I mentioned, they are 50 centimeters in length and the broad shelves are roughly about 54-55 centimeters deep, so they work really well. The only thing is, if you wanted to put them at the front, so have them running along the front instead, unfortunately that won't work if you have the same shelves that I do, because the length between the corner of the shelves to this middle beam, which is a support beam, that's less than 50 centimeters, so you're not going to be able to fit it running along the front this way. For me though, personally, I like the lights actually going along the side, and the reason for that is sometimes I find that if you have the lights in front, it can tend to wash out the statue. What I mean by that is it can sort of create a bit of a flat look because the light is hitting them front on, which can then sometimes make the paint or the details look a little bit flatter. So with the lights running along the sides, what it does is it still allows for shadows to fall onto the statues naturally, which can create a bit more of a dynamic look. And I think for me personally, that's something that I prefer. So again, that's entirely up to you. If you've got a different, obviously, shelves that you're using and you want to put it at the front, that will also work, I'm sure. So as I said, I use 2 lights per shelf. So you'll see I've got 2 down the bottom here, 2 at the top. That's basically one set of the lights. So then I have 1, 2, 3 sets for this display setup, and each of those sets are obviously powered by an AC adapter. So essentially I've got 3 AC adapters that are then plugged into a Powerboard. So the next thing I want to talk about is the Powerboard that I use. So currently I use a smart Powerboard. So basically what that means is I can get them all connected up to my phone through an app, and I can control them through that app. So that's a really good option because then it means I can turn them on, turn them off, set up timers and everything through just the app, which makes it really easy to control them. And at one point I actually had them all on timers. So I think at 6 o'clock every night, they will automatically turn on, and they'll stay on until about 10 o'clock, and then they'll just automatically turn off. That was usually the time that I was in the collection room, so it just made sense that the lights obviously were on for that sort of time frame. Now, what I did more recently though is I actually added another layer to that setup, and I picked up this little bad boy up here. Now that is a motion sensor that I have connected to the smart plug or smart Powerboard, which means that as soon as I walk into the room, all of the lights will automatically turn on as soon as the motion sensor detects movement. But the cool thing is that if I step out of the room after about 5 minutes, it will automatically switch off all the lights if it doesn't detect any motion in here, which is really cool because it means that I can come into the room anytime. Lights will automatically turn on. They will stay on as long as I'm in the room. But as soon as I leave, after a couple of minutes, and you can set however long you want them to stay on for, they will just automatically turn off, if it doesn't detect any motion. It's great because it means I'm not wasting energy, but it also probably helps prolong some of the life of these lights, because as I'm sure as you know, if you leave them on all the time, it will impact how long they last. So that's just, I thought was a really good option, and I was happy that I was able to find a way to do that. But that is pretty much it, guys. That's the lighting setup that I use for my collection. So I highly recommend you guys investing in a good lighting setup for your collection as well. It doesn't have to be obviously my lighting, but really encourage you guys to look for whatever works best for your setup, because I think it's such an important part of your display, and it's a really good way of highlighting obviously amazing pieces that you have in your collection. Makes them look a lot cleaner, but also allows you to enjoy the pieces obviously better under good lighting. So highly recommend spending a bit of time in terms of how you set up your lights for your collection. But that's pretty much it, guys. That's my setup. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below, and I'll make sure to come back to you guys. Hopefully it won't take me another 6 months to film my next video. I still don't know what that's going to be. Most likely it will be an updated video room tour. As you can see, there's been a few new additions to the collections, but I'm hoping there'll be a few more that will come in before the end of the year. So I'll definitely be doing an updated video room tour before we wrap up 2023. But again, just wanted to say a big thank you to you guys for tuning in and checking out this video. And hopefully I will catch you on the next one. Thanks, guys. Peace.